Hi, Dr. Regan Robertson, CCO of Productive Dentist Academy here, and I have a question for you. Are you finding it hard to get your team aligned to your vision, but you know you deserve growth just like everybody else? That's why we've created the PDA Productivity Workshop. For nearly 20 years, PDA workshops have helped dentists just like you align their teams, get control of scheduling, and create productive practices that they love walking into every day. Just imagine how you will feel when you know your schedule is productive, your systems are humming, and your team is aligned to your vision. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. We can help. Visit productivedentist.com/workshop. That's productivedentist.com/workshop to secure your seats now.
Along the lines of implants, there's a Salvin brand has an implant spotter. And so this Salvin implant spotter, I want that for my full arch stuff. And if it weren't for that, they also have a Penguin, which is kind of like an implant integrator checker. So like one of those two things would be on the top of my list.
Welcome to the Everyday Practices Podcast. I'm Regan Robertson, and my co-host, Dr. Chad Johnson, and I are on a mission to share the stories of everyday dentists who generate extraordinary results using practical, proven methods you can take right into your own dental practice. If you're ready to elevate patient care and produce results that are anything but ordinary, buckle up and listen in.
Welcome to Everyday Practices Dental Podcast. I am your host, Regan Robertson, here with the newly returned Dr. Chad Johnson from Miami after speaking for Dr.
Arun Garg. That's right. He was having a practice management seminar. It went well. And he was down a speaker on the second morning. And so I filled in for him for the first hour, 15 or so, and then hit the airport right away. Got onto the plane just in time, flew back just in time to get off the plane and to my car just in time to get to my girls' basketball game just in time. So the day was just in time. No, really, I was 3 minutes late into the game. So, but I was the coach. So the assistant picked up my slack the first couple minutes and walked in almost seamlessly, and away we went.
Did they take the win?
We did win the first game. Yes, we did.
What a shocker.
Exactly. I mean, come on.
So last episode. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so enough of my basketball coaching, but thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah. As Regan was just going to say, last time we did our favorite things part 1. So today is my favorite things part 2. And Regan, I feel bad that it's all my favorite things, but I guess I'm the clinical person, right?
It is exactly my Christmas wish list. Remember, everybody get to know Chad Johnson from the clinical side and not just the fun, humorous, entertaining side, which we have in spades. But I thought, since we're looking into the new year, Bruce Baird always says, planning, taking this time to sort of go inward, plan for the new year. What are you going to bring on? And you are a whiz at, determining what works, what doesn't work, your process for it. So we ended, I believe, on the 7th day of Christmas, your true love gave to you 7 Zana toothbrushes by CEO Sean Zayas.
And along those lines, as Bruce was doing, I was showing you earlier, for anyone that can see video content, that I have my Productive Dentist Academy calendar done for 2024. With my vacations and CEs all planned in, and my September workshop that I'm going to be hitting for our 20th anniversary workshop on the, what is this, the 13th through the 5th? Let me look it up here. August, September, the 12th through the 14th. If you're ever looking for a fun time, come join us. Are you ready?
Right. Well, you remind me of my 8th grade science teacher, Mr. Anderson.
Hi, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Anderson. Shout out to you and my B+ biology grade. He used to tell me that it wasn't about your inherent talents and even your natural proclivity for skills that made you a success. It was your ability to be organized and disciplined. And your calendar shows right there, you are consistent and you're disciplined. And so takeaway right there.
Perseverance and persistence are two of my favorite P words.
Speaking of P words,
I'm just saying. Speaking of P words, my first one that I want to mention today, Primo Pattern LC Light Cured Gel. Instead of using GC pattern resin when you're doing pickup impressions for implants, multiple implants, you can connect them, with floss and then bond them together with this Primo pattern. And the cool thing is it's light cured. So it's kind of like flowable composite. And I've been using it for years. I love just connecting the implant open tray impression copings with some floss and Primo Pattern LC gel. It's awesome. It's way better than having to wait for the regular cure, the auto cure stuff. So
it's not like, is it like the Nike of gels? Is it expensive? Do you pay a brand price for that?
It's what the cool kids are calling bougie these days. It's
really
bougie.
Yeah. Is it considered bougie?
I think so. I mean, like, this is the next level up of, so if you haven't heard of it, it's been around for a while. So, I mean, I hope you've heard of it, but if not, check out Primo Pattern LC Gel. None of these products am I getting reimbursed for, but I love them very much. And if they sent me some free stuff for all the fantastic stuff that I'm giving, I would also pay shipping. Regan, that non-burst laughter, I saw that. My next one, if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Give it.
Okay.
Let's
listen.
blow through
some of this stuff, it's not necessarily new stuff. It's my favorite stuff. Isolite. We use Isodry, which doesn't have the light attached to it, but it's with the Kona adapter. So the Kona adapter, if you look it up, it's either on eBay but you almost have to Google it. And Kona adapter is not made in Kona, as the hygienist that makes this describes. It's his dog's name, Kona, that he named it after, but it's a lot cheaper than buying the Isolite Isodry version. Sorry, Isolite, but once you get the system, then you can buy the Kona adapters for, I don't know, let's say 15% of the full cost. It's $100 to $150 for one of the adapters, just so that way, just to give you a cost range of what those Kona adapters are. So you can buy a ton of them, sterilize them, and still be ahead versus buying the expensive Isolite adapter. Now, we use Isodry because we don't have the light attached to it, and a Kona adapter does not have the light attached to it. But if you've got lights on your loops or overhead and or all that stuff, then you're good to go.
Where do you buy your products from?
All over.
Oh, it just depends on which is the best deal for you. Do you sit and price shop?
So most of my stuff I get through Patterson.
Okay.
Yep. We've also tried Henry Schein before and had good success with them. So nothing wrong with that. We just have some brand loyalty with Patterson. But there's some of these products you almost have to fish for yourself. They're not mainline items that are always in the Patterson book.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yep. Next one I'm super excited about.
Yes, for PRP, Vein Light. I call it my cheater light, but it blows up your veins when you're looking to drop in an IV. And so when you're inserting the needle, you just hold that right there. And the cool thing that I like about it too is it puts a little pressure on the skin around the area. So then it doesn't, I don't think they can feel the one poke that you're giving because the whole area is pressurized. So there's some distraction to it because people are like, wow, you're kind of good at that. And I then try and explain, listen, the people that do this 1,000 times a day or whatever, they probably don't need this light. They might have, advantages to using this light, but they don't need it. If I'm just doing 1 or 2 a day, this kind of makes me artificially as good as those people who are doing 1,000 a day because I can see right where it is. So very cool.
It sounds very Star Trek. So really, is it exactly like it sounds, a vein light? You shine it on and it'll show you exactly where the veins are running.
Yep. It's about as big as your palm. And
does it sit on your forehead or does it
you could sit it on your forehead if you have big forehead veins, you could see those things, but or on your wrist.
Oh no, I meant, do you wear it like a headlamp or do you put it over it? Like how does it work?
It's an LED light. So Vein Light, VEIN, and then next word LITE, just if people are looking it up. It's kind of like crystal light instead of flash light, LIGHT. So LITE, and you put it on the skin. So it's not held above the skin. you hold it directly on the skin and it glows into the skin.
That's really cool. Okay.
It's kind of like, when you're a kid and you took a flashlight and you put it on your fingertip and you
Yes.
could, it's like that. It's like
well,
that.
I'm looking over here. They have a hospital grade one. It's like $1,900 or something, but it gave a good illustration. And I thought that's amazing. Because how many times have we been around where we're hunting for a vein?
Yeah.
I can't say I've ever hunted for a vein since I don't
I always use this. Like, even if I can see it super easy, I'll use it just to make sure that I can see the direction of the vein too. And I can watch it if it wiggles, like as we're in. So like,
yes.
Yeah. So the rollers.
Yes.
Definitely good to have. I want to say, but this was years ago, but I want to say it's like $600 for one. If you Amazon it /eBay it / look for it elsewise, you should be able to find, one not for $1,900.
Perfect.
Yep. Next up.
CEREC OptiSpray.
Yes. OptiSpray. So like, this is at this point, an old school dental technique to not, the newer camera the prime scan uses no spray, but you don't have to use spray. But if you do, it helps kind of dry the area and makes it less reflective, the enamel less reflective, so that way the camera can pick it up. So of course they want to market that you don't have to use spray, but if you do use spray, boy, imaging goes super quick and easy. So if you're a newer CEREC user and you haven't used the old school powder, they always say, like, oh yeah, people hated the powder. That's not exactly true. Caking, layers and layers of powder on is, like on the red cam and blue cam and stuff like that. That was frustrating getting it perfect. These days, though, just a quick spray of a quick glaze of OptiSpray is going to help dry it off and make it more contrast for when you're picking up the image. And I only do it really on the prep or kind of on gold, sometimes on zirconia and Emax. But CEREC OptiSpray is an old thing that you should check into and use. It's kind of like vinyl records of the CEREC world,
which are all back now. That has been on my Christmas vinyls for people. Yes.
Maybe it's so old it's now cool.
It's nowtro.
Yep.
Oh, it's not retro.
I like that. I'm so not cool that I've never heard that.
It's from A Mighty Wind. I cannot take credit for that.
I'm going to let you take credit for it. Yeah.
It's very natural.
Next up, Carry-Free.
First, pause before we go. Yes, talk all about Carry-Free, but there is a great podcast that we had the honor of interviewing Dr. Kim Cooch. So that's in our archives. So that's one to check out.
Correct.
It's one of my favorite podcasts. I love Dr. Kim Cooch. So and we were just chatting Carry-Free. So tell me about why you love it so much.
I like the treatment rinse and the maintenance rinse. Dr. Coyce promotes them heavily, and the product just really works. Mixing some bleach into some water, it does wonders for killing germs. Let's just say that. So I'm all about that, and I also like that it addresses the pH balance issue of caries in the mouth. So by adjusting the pH in the mouth, and then also for the treatment rinse with the bleach in there, it does wonders for our perio patients.
I was going to say, tell me the difference between
maintenance rinse,
putting a little bleach in water versus Carry-Free products. Like,
I'm not against someone putting. Now, this is my personal opinion,
not medical advice.
Well, right. Unless I'm your actual doctor and you're my actual patient, then I will tell you to put, if you want, to do it the cheap style, you put some bleach into some water. And I even tell people for water picking, which was one of my first 7, if you drop some bleach into the water, it's going to help kill the germs. And so you don't want to be swallowing it, and you don't want to be, dumb.
A little goes a long way.
Yeah. But you should taste that it's kind of pool watery tasting, and smell it, that it's strong enough that you can tell that it's gross. And so that way it's killing germs. And Sydneys do it and they don't get in trouble, but all of a sudden some people are like, oh, don't tell patients because some patients aren't going to be able to understand it. Well, then don't tell those patients to do it. Don't tell everyone to do it. But if you feel like that person has a little bit of common sense that they can, I even have given a pipette, a little plastic pipette that they can, drop some bleach into their water pick or stuff like that. So yeah, it's not rocket science. You can mix the two together, but if you want to go rocket science style and have the pH addressed carry-free rinse, then
there we go.
It's more expensive, but of course you're going to get a better product. If you want to save money, then DIY it, by mixing it yourself with some bleach. Fine. Don't get it on your clothes and don't swallow it. And
disclaimer, talk to your dentist to find out more.
How to best do it. But I'm not categorically against it. Some dentists are like, that's the worst idea to tell people to do that. And I'm like, well, yeah, you have to use common sense. So it's not for everyone. But you can do it and not die. I mean, so it's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. I've heard other dentists speak to that as well.
If they're frank about it, yes, just do it.
Or just skip that process and go straight for carry free.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
My next one is a weird instrument that I've loved since dental school, but it's the Woodson periosteal elevator, but here's the specific brand. It has to be KLS Martin.
I'm Googling this as fast as my little fingers will type. Martin Woodson periosteal.
Yes.
What is a periosteal elevator?
So.
Oh, no wonder you like that. Okay. All right. I'm on board.
So when you're extracting a tooth, one of the first things that you do usually is to push the gums back. If you remember, in the Dominican Republic, I explained there are 3 major categories of a tooth extraction: pushing the gums back, wiggling the tooth until the bone is pushed back, and then actually grabbing on the tooth with the forceps and starting to wiggle it out. But you work in those, in that sequence.
You pull teeth like butter.
Why, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So the periosteum is the tissue right over the osteum, over the bone. So you push that back with the Woodson periosteal elevator, but the KLS Martin brand has a little hook on the end because a lot of times the offset angle is, let's say, 30 degrees. No, when I'm doing a second molar, or worse yet, a third molar, I want that to be almost a 90-degree angle. So I bet it's like an 80-degree angle on that hook on the curved end. So that way you can get around your third molars and get the gingiva fully reflected. So I love the KLS Martin, which I think is a British brand. KLS Martin Woodson periosteal elevators. Shout out to University of Iowa College of Dentistry for using that. And I called them up and they gave me the name of it after I graduated. I was like, no, the one I got from blank company was okay, but I want the one that you guys have. And they're like, KLS Martin, boom, sold right there.
Done.
Yep.
And I've learned something new today.
Yep. Periosteal elevator. Next,
all right, we have time for one more.
No, you didn't do that on purpose.
Why?
Because I've got so many more. Do we make this into another episode?
We can make this into another episode.
All right, fine. Then
hold
I'll
on,
let it go.
Ricky, hold on, pause. Hold on, let me look at my calendar. I think I have another call that I have to go to. I do. I have my one-on-one.
Fine.
I know.
What if can I finish it and then but you say, well, thanks for sharing those, Chad. And then I go, you're welcome. And then you can just ghost out.
Heck yeah.
Do that real quick.
We would miss our funsies, but yeah, absolutely. Okay.
How about we do this? Let's pretend like we're wrapping up. Let's do the wrap up, and then I'll fill you in the other stuff here in a minute. Like I'll retro fill that.
Give me a second. Hold on. Wait, no, I don't want to do that. Hold on. I don't want to do that.
Fine.
Tell Ben.
Okay, one more.
Yes.
Okay, one more.
So you've got one more. I don't know how to say this one. Priat?
No, I'm going to skip that.
Why? It looks fun. It says buddy in it.
All right. The Preet implant buddy. That's okay. So what I love about the Preet implant buddy, look it up. It's $800 or $900 just so people have kind of a cost estimate idea. Preat, Preet. I think I'm saying that right, but it could be Priet or Priat or something like that. The company makes implant supplies, and the implant buddy is it has all the different screw top heads. So if you want the 0.50 millimeter hex, or if you want the 1 millimeter, or the flathead screwdriver top, or it's got every brand all in one kit. So that way you can use a torque wrench of different implant sets. So if you're used to using Strawman and you're like, oh no, this is an Astra, you can switch to whatever size that you want. Or if you don't know what the company is, you can take the implant apart with the implant buddy. You are very welcome for hearing this one, ladies and gentlemen, because this one is a game changer of being able to do any implant that you want, even though it's not the system or two that you have in-house. There you go.
That was a good one not to skip.
Correct. I'm excited though, because I do have more, Regan. So maybe after the first of the year, we'll have to do kind of a Oprah mini favorite things countdown, or save them till next Christmas.
I say we keep going.
Right now?
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm going to do it real quick.
The people need to know.
It's
people
true.
Deserve to know.
Listen, you're asking me to geek out. I'm willing to go with you to the full depths of this geekiness. Next.
Good.
The Kerr Smart Strips. Interproximal separators, when you have cement stuck and bonding stuck. I like the serrated white finishing strip to opening a contact by the Kerr brand Smart Strips. And I've used other ones before and they're okay, but like we got a sample of these ones and I was like, now, and the plastic goes on top and down the sides. And so it holds the metal serrated end better. These aren't side cutting, though you can get those. I'm talking about just on the end, so that way you can break the contact and clean up extra cement that you gooed in between the adjacent teeth. So that's the next one. Clean up
the extra, cement.
The extra cement goo. Yeah.
What is cement goo?
So after you've hardened the glue either by light or it's auto curing or dual curing, all that stuff. You've got to clean up the extra cement that squishes out from the crown or the onlay.
Of course.
And that stuff gets stuck in between the teeth, but sometimes it gets so stuck that you can't clean it out except for something like this Smart Strip, and it's awesome. I've never been in love with the idea. I've reluctantly started using this one that had a top to it, and then these ones though, I've been like, okay, now I'm in love with these. So you ready for the next one?
Shorter than short.
Yep, the Brasseler shorter than really short bird block. Yes,
it's really called that.
Yep, it actually says STS, shorter than short bird block. You know the patients that won't open their mouth very big? This is cool because the drill is really short on the shank, the short shank bird block. And so that way,
redemption.
Yes, short shank redemption. That's the title. So that way you can go in there and prep like on someone that won't open very big. Second molars you can do without feeling like you have to prep subgingival, and you can get around everywhere. So Brasseler makes a Brasseler brand, shorter than short burr blocks. There you go. Next.
I think that's one of the hardest jobs that a dentist has, only because I failed miserably. If you ask someone open your mouth and they give you and you're like, no, open your mouth. And then they do, and the tongue is completely in the way.
Yep.
And you can't put anything down on the tongue to see, like it is difficult. And I'm like, well, I'm not even getting past go. I do not collect $200. I can't. I mean, we're stuck.
Not all heroes wear capes, honey. We get it done.
Well, yeah, you wear scrubs. Okay. Next one on the list.
Okay, so I went to Hawaii at the Moana Surf Rider, and and the smell in there is so amazing, and it's all the Weston Inns. Yes. So I was like, they told me that it's the white tea fragrance, and you can go online. So I have that in my reception area, is a home diffuser set from Weston Inn, and it smells awesome. Our office doesn't smell like a dental office, and people's olfactory brings up old memories and fears and stuff like that, covered over with a beautiful scent like Weston Inn. You're welcome. You're going to love it. Give that a try.
I just used the word olfactory this morning. That's funny to hear it come up again. I was staring intently at my dog's nose this morning very closely, and I went, look at your olfactory center. It's so active.
Right.
I think that there is a podcast that we did with Park Slope Dental Arts, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
They're a group out of, not a group, a dental group. They are two doctors. They're out of Brooklyn, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Anyway, they talked a lot about the fragrances in the practice. And that was a great episode. And the Weston, I know exactly what that smells like. And that's
so clean.
An incredible trick.
Yes. And every time I smell it, because the first time that I recall smelling it was in Hawaii. So every time that I smell it, I think of being on Waikiki Beach at the Westin in Moana Surfrider.
Dentists, identify your other favorite dentist. Chad has just given you a beautiful holiday wish list.
That's right.
You could buy for your bestie.
Yep. Can I finish my last one? Are you ready to finish out the nerdiness?
You have one left?
I do.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's do it.
So for anesthesia, making everything wonderful, I use compounded topical. I talk about it occasionally on here. I love getting compounded topical. To me, it's worth the extra expense if you can do it. Next, sodium bicarbonate for anesthetic buffering. I have a video on YouTube explaining it, and it's put in the exact words: sodium bicarbonate anesthetic buffering. And it will come up with my explanatory about how to order it and everything like that. That makes the pH neutral in the anesthetic, so that way it's not stinging when you inject it. So you couple that with Septidont brand, the DentaPen. And if you are looking on the screen right now, here it is, the DentaPen, because I just got another. I'm going to give you all a secret. I asked my rep, and she said there are about 400 of these left. And they stopped making these. Yep. They stopped making these. Yep. And a few years ago, I got these and I thought, this is dumb. But then I started using it because I got it. I thought, I'll give this a try. And then I'm just like, no, this is dumb. My hand has kind of ached for the last few months, my forearm and stuff like that. So I've been doing physical therapy for it. So I broke this out and I was like, this is actually really cool. I don't have to squeeze on the palate. And it's got 3 different settings. So it's like the Stabident or Stabident, STA, for basically a machine that makes the anesthetic go in, so you don't have to use your hand to squeeze it. And it's got 3 settings where it injects it all in 30 seconds, all in 60 seconds, or all in 90 seconds. And you can also, I haven't figured it out yet, but the button, that you can ramp it up. And when I do buffered anesthetic with compounded topical, and even on the palate with this DentaPen, I'm amazed how many baby patients that I have, their term, not mine, but that they're just like, man, I just hate that. But that wasn't bad. And so it'll, I don't know, just because I think it goes really slow and I don't know, it's just precise, and it spares my hand from cramping up and getting that almost, I don't know if a carpal tunnel-y feeling is the right word for it, but it's helped using this. I love it. And there's only so many left. So get in touch with your Septidont rep, because these are on sale. Or if you're buying some different products, they'll sell it to you for less or something, or you get it for free if you're buying some of their biodentine products.
But there's only 400 left, which means Chad's going to buy up a bunch to have them for the rest of life. So go now.
I wish. I've got 4 now, and so I'm set.
Okay.
So, but listen, if you're one of the first 400 listeners to this, you're lucky, and go buy one while you can. That's it.
Is there anything, thank you for sharing your holiday favorites. Is there anything on your wish list before we close out and welcome in the new year that you want this year that you don't have?
Well, yeah, in my backyard, I want a greenhouse.
Does
that count?
Related. No.
That doesn't count. That's not good enough. You wanted something small?
I wanted something dental related.
Oh, something dental related. Shoot. Because I was going to say, if you didn't like that answer, I was going to say, I want a bomber jacket that has a Shelby Mustang on it. So, but what else? What were you, dental related that I want?
I would like an Audi RS6, but it's not my career orientated.
But hold on. Wait. Scent drafts. You can pause this if you need to, but let me just look it up here real quick. I keep a wants list. All mail, scent scheduled, drafts, personal wish list, business wish list, veranda wish list. Okay. So along the lines of implants, there's a Salvin brand has an implant spotter. And so this Salvin implant spotter, I want that for my full arch stuff. And if it weren't for that, they also have a Penguin which is kind of like an implant integrator checker. So like one of those two things would be on the top of my list. I think that's it.
This has been my favorite episode to quickly Google everything that you're saying and learning. I feel like I just got a crash course in education.
In all dentistry.
Spotter. Yes.
Yeah. The Salvin implant spotter. Yep. So check those out for products. And again, the Penguin is an interesting thing that I don't have, but I've kind of always been on the fringe about curiosity about getting that. So, yep.
Okay, doctors, if you've appreciated hearing Chad for the last several years on Everyday Practices Dental Podcast, that's his number one wish item for the year.
You can send that to P.O. Box.
P.O. Box.
All right, listeners, thanks so much. Look forward to giving you some more advice and hearing from you as well in the new year in 2024. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Everyday Practices Podcast. Chad and I are here every week thanks to our community of listeners just like you, and we'd love your help. It would mean the world if you can help spread the word by sharing this episode with a fellow dentist and leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. Do you have an extraordinary story you'd like to share or feedback on how we can make this podcast even more awesome? Drop us an email at podcast@productivedentist.com. And don't forget to check out our other podcasts from Productive Dentist Academy at productivedentist.com/podcasts. See you next week.